So why the Evening Standard, why here? Newspapers are interesting because they've got a dual-pronged business model. They've got B2B and B2C, where quite a lot of consumer goods are just B2C, and some are just B2B. The combination means you've got two distinct revenue streams which have to be managed in different ways. So that's an exciting job opportunity. News is very exciting. It's what drives everything. If anyone was around in September the 11th when the aeroplanes hit the towers, they realised how important news was. London, the big energy driver of the UK economy. It's the one place where you should get growth, even if an industry is in decline. You should be able to find a way to grow audiences by doing something creative and innovative in London. So that's an interesting place to have a business and have it geographically focused. And I guess the opportunity to be an MD business, so yeah, huge opportunity. Thought I could make a difference. Not trained or focused or motivated in the right way. So I think when you go to a team, you start from the basis that you should work with the raw materials that you have there, and with the basis that they're talented, but circumstances have meant that if they're not performing, that's why. Leaving Standard lost money 10 years in a row, was doing appallingly badly, had two major competitors against it, the free newspapers. So the basis was work with the team and try and see if you can move them forward. But yeah, I mean, they were pretty downtrodden actually. I mean, if you're the weakest performer in the market, there's a feeling that you are also a poor performer yourself. So I think sort of losing culture, expecting to lose money, expecting to decline, there was a lot of that around, I think, and I wouldn't say depressing, but I would say lacking in energy and real drive and imagination. And I had a very simple thing that you can't see. There's a picture up there of Einstein. You can take a picture of it at the end, which says insanity, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. And it's a quote I say to anyone who's in a situation where things are going badly. If you think what you did yesterday is going to get us out of the hole tomorrow, you must be joking. So you have to tell people that massive change, doing things very, very differently, is not only necessary, it's the only chance you've got. So I think you talk with a degree of honesty, you let people know where this current situation currently stands, and you have to tell them we're going into a hole, a black hole, an abyss faster than you can possibly imagine. Unless we do something now to change, we are going to be in trouble. If you allow people to think that, don't worry, everyone's going to spend millions of pounds, you've got years and years and years, we'll find our way out at shareholders' expense, a private person's expense, it doesn't work like that. Different type of situation where you're not a rounding error on someone else's annual budget, and you are the budget in totality. And you fail, and it's absolutely clear you're failing. You succeed. Well, it wasn't so much the success, it was the fear of failure. Forced us to set an agenda with them which said this is the only way to survive, this is the only way you're going to make your money pay back, this is the way you get what you wanted from the purchase. And then you have to have an owner, a funder, who will basically go, yeah, we're going to back that, we're going to back your imagination, this risky plan, because they wanted what we wanted. And so it really was a fear that we were going to go out of business, and it was so overtly clear whose fault and responsibility it would be. So we had to take the tough decisions that probably no one would have ever taken. And the business was losing about £4 million a month when we made the change. And so and it drove the whole business. Month one, can we do the things we said we were going to do? We're going to hit the targets. Yes. Month two, yes. Month three, yes. And each time you hit a target and beat a target, the energy in the business suddenly starts moving. So I think target setting, giving yourself very clear milestones and goals, can really drive the business. And you find this energy suddenly starts surging through a business that was previously a failed business. Even though you're losing people, you're cutting costs, you're changing cultures. And you get the first day the Evening Standard ever makes a profit, and a champagne round in the sales team, and everyone drinks them. Then the first week, and then the first month, and the first quarter, and then of course the first year. And if you set these targets, you get the business energized behind them, you get them moving. People who were failures are heroes, and it shows you that it's the way you give people a vision, a goal, the energy, the drive, and you can transform what it seemed to be a losing team, a bunch of underperformers, become overperformers, start winning prizes, get given awards for sales teams of the year, and you know because the Evening Standard had been, in the perception of London, a newspaper driven to talk to and provide information to a certain group of people and exclude a whole range of other people. And that, you know, was probably personified by the mayoral election where it backed Boris over Ken. And it was perceived to be a newspaper that was standing outside of London, throwing rocks at Londoners. You know, it wasn't actually taking responsibility for it and being part of it and championing its city in the way it should have done. That gave the opportunity for free sheets to come along and take it on. And one of the things, as well as going free, was we changed the editor. Geordie Gregg took over, and we'd done the research. We sat in research groups and people talking about they wouldn't touch the Evening Standard regardless with the barge pole, blah blah blah. And we had to change it. We had to own up to the faults of our past as well. The important thing is that commuters are extremely busy and preoccupied with getting a train within 2 minutes, so you had to make it completely frictionless, and you had to make them able to pick it up without even breaking stride and diverting themselves, queuing for half an hour in the rain to pay 50p. It wasn't the price, it was the queuing. And now you can get the Standard without even moving an inch off your way to your train, or it might even be on the train before you get there. So it's frictionless availability is the key to a free newspaper distribution. And then having content that people really. Some editors are true geniuses. They don't have to think without knowing what their audience wants. But sometimes editors become disconnected. And there is a challenge, therefore, to find out how an editor will get reconnected. And part of that is that they'll just want to get immersed in the role and get a feel for it. Others do depend on research as well. So I think as a team, you have to find a way to give editors the right insights and have the right editor who actually wants to find that they're giving people what they want.
And I don't think have you been involved in TV before?
No, made some programming for DVDs and things, but not live TV, no.
So just to contextualise that, when you came into newspapers, I suppose you moved from a career in marketing into newspapers. That was new. In a way, you were innovating your career then.
Yeah, different type of career, absolutely.
And then you moved into working here at the Evening Standard and the Independent, and you have made massive changes to the Independent. But I think what's interesting now is you are now moving into another arena, although it's in media. It's new for you. It's new for your organisation. It's new for London. What made you want to do it in the first place? Was it obvious to you?
On TV?
Yeah.
No, it wasn't remotely obvious. The local TV opportunity was known about, and you had a lot of sort of enthusiasts who wanted to do it because they wanted to do more and different things. I think the first and most important thing is there a future in TV? You know, you have to work that out, and a lot of naysayers on TV saying that you know, linear TV, sitting down watching it is dead, you know, and people will be watching it all through on-demand TV, connected TV, YouTube, etc., etc. I think TV companies have been very, very clever at breaking down the difference between appointment to view type TV, big mass audience TVs, all participation absolutely key, and programming that can be dipped into, can be recorded, can be found on demand. And the viewing numbers are going up and up and up because they're making available multiple devices. So instead of TV being dead, video transmission via linear and other platforms is growing and growing and growing, and it's only going to grow. So that's the it is a future focused media business as opposed to an old dead one. So quite interesting. Should we be interested? Absolutely. Then you work out, does it fit with the portfolio? You know, is it something that's going to distract us, and we're therefore going to start losing money in the print businesses, and challenge businesses are going to go further into the red or close or whatever? Or is it something that's important? And the big sort of road to Damascus moment was that everyone's saying print goes to digital, but digital's future is video, and that's the only way you're going to make money, via digital. And so if you can build audiences and put TV, video on your digital platforms, you will make money. So big question is, how on earth do you create video cost effectively? And most of the newspaper sites are buying in video at about the same price at which they generate advertising revenue, so it's a zero-sum base. They don't make any money out of it. So you have some people sitting there in a newsroom saying they're going to make TV, which is slightly bizarre. You know, they will have very small audiences, or you can jump on the TV bandwagon, and the opportunity is to be Channel 8 on Freeview, which is the local London licence, or Channel 117 on Sky, and which is, the analogy is you're between Debenhams and Selfridges, and you're sitting there and people will go past and see your shop front. Therefore, can you make the content that will actually make them go into your store? So you win the bid, then you think, oh God, how the hell do we do it?
I'm going to bring you back to, it's just about writing bids. So we started off, you actually haven't done television before.
No.
You've probably written bids before.
Or helped, yeah.
Or helped, yeah. So this is another new piece. This is something else that's new and original.
Luckily TV's moved on though. I mean, if TV was this hugely costly black box type process, then you'd feel pretty uncomfortable about being able to get together and create TV. TV is a lot about outsourcing production. So the ability to create video and the cost of creating video has changed dramatically. And as long as you're clear about what you insource and what you outsource, you can de-risk your future business. So what we have is, we already have the commercial people, we already have the content and editorial people, we already have the office space, we already have the HR and all the legal. All we needed was some TV specialists and the ability to outsource production capability. There are three main strands that we've got to put together TV. One is live news, and we're going to build studios in here, and we've got tons and tons of news content and people that can sit in front of camera. So you need the proper presenters, and you need to be able to create a live news thing. We've got a head of news who's done it before for Channel 5 and Sky, so hopefully they know how to create news, and we've got the content. So news should be fine. You've then got potential acquisitions, that you'll buy existing content if it's appropriate. That's about commercially being able to buy stuff, and then you play it out. And the rest is you commission stuff. And that is about, don't spend too much money buying things that don't drive audiences, because you'll be out of business very, very fast and failures. It's about a different model, and we'll put up ad-funded programming, co-producing, sponsorships, all very key around these magazine type programming that people will own and sponsor and advertise in the paper. We expect the newspaper revenues to increase as a result of it, and the digital revenues. So if TV broke even, that wouldn't be the success of our business. It would be the fact that the other businesses grow considerably, not the fact that TV is a profitable business, because it'll be a portfolio business approach.
Now, as you talk about TV, this move to TV isn't a condition of survival. It's a different type of innovation, I think.
Well, no. Well, it is. It can be seen to in a way, if you want to be overly dramatic. Yeah, I mean, going back to innovation, continually changing, updating, modernising. That's what brands do. But I mean, people say they don't innovate, but you know, they change the colours, they change the way they approach, they change the formula, they change their taste, whatever it is. And then they find through technology or through changing circumstances that they have to, or they have the ability to change something fundamentally, which makes life simpler. Because it's normally always convenience and simplicity. And if there's any opportunity for a product or a brand or service to be improved, really, really smart companies decide that they better be the ones to do it, to replace their existing consumers, hopefully at a higher margin, better profit, than having their business taken away. So innovation is the attractiveness culture of moving survival, or just as the other newspapers, getting stronger and disappear. So it'll be subject to market decline, even though it will not decline itself. So it's going to have pressures on it, on how does it grow and retain its revenues. It also has clients that want multi-platform, and just being able to offer print alone won't satisfy some ambitious, high-spending clients. So actually it is a necessary requirement of survival to add other media assets to your offering that you can bundle and package together.
I noticed about digital, sort of working across print and digital, was there was the constant strive for the new. There'd be 20 new products that appear in a day within digital, or 20 new ideas, whereas it might take a month to get 20 new ideas on the print side. That was certainly when I worked in advertising, that was my observation.
But that's the cost, isn't it? You change something on print and it affects 1.4 million copies, so it's one little change times 1.4 million. You know, so the cost implications of it, and as ever, is there a benefit to it? You know, all the innovations that are done in print historically are commercially driven to make more revenue, but actually the readers don't want it. And innovation is the eye giving people less and packaging it differently, not just chucking more at people so they feel more overwhelmed by it. So it's just change they were creating, not innovation. So that's fundamentally the difference there, I think.
That's quite. I was wondering, are there people or organisations that you look to as sort of people that you're inspired by, or you see things that they do that actually create other ideas for you, rather than just following them?
No, Apple you can't escape from, because there's clearly genius there of working out how to make people's lives simple. No research group in the world would generate what Apple have done. They're people with visions of what is possible, how to reorganise data and ergonomically provide it and beautifully design things. I mean, that is so unique. The rest of the world, I think, is people who tap into consumer trends, and certain businesses are quite good at doing that and are staying in front of the curve. You know, you have to think about people who are obsessed with consumer convenience and try and see what they're doing, what have they learned about that has made them change to do things. I suppose people like John Lewis and Waitrose with, you know, Ocado and home delivery and all that stuff. It's seamlessly just arrived, hasn't it? Yeah. That you sit at home and you order amazing products that arrive on your doorstep, totally convenient. Amazon. You know, but Amazon, I mean, my son said to me, how does Amazon work, Dad? You know, and I said, well, you start off with a bloody great big warehouse and you buy tons and tons of stock. You know, so you do it very, very cheaply, and then you make everyone come and buy it very, very cost effectively through web and transaction and get the money, blah, blah, blah. And then you replenish as people order.
Being close to the atmosphere, the climate, the vibe in your organisation, how do you do that? How do you know what's going on?
I think you've got to start from a very simple belief that winning is important. And if you go through a period of not winning or stagnating, it's going to affect people. So you try and create the ability to have wins. Wins. Obviously you can fail within that, but you try and create wins so that people think that trying and doing, you know, can create a situation where you win. And when you win, all of that amazing emotion and all the adrenaline and everything goes. So you try and find wins. You try and find lots of ways of talking about wins. And wins can be about quarterly budgets, they can be about annual budgets, they can be about weekly targets, or they can be about massive product change, you know, the eye and the stuff. And I think you have to keep on having a dialogue with people about your milestones, your targets, and when it goes really, really well, you know, show energy and enthusiasm and excitement, because then people want to replicate that and do it again, because they like pleasing people and they like feeling successful. And I think the other thing is, when it's not going well, is show that it matters that it's not going well. You know, poor performance, not through lack of energy, but poor performance isn't a good feeling. You know, we don't feel good, we're miles off the numbers. How on earth are we going to get this back? And then of course the next first big win, even if it doesn't get you back on track, you then talk about, isn't that great? You know, look how we've done, we're making up some of the gap again, we're winners again. So it's about recalibrating and then moving up. And I think if you can find a business that always thinks that the progress is celebrated and appreciated, even if you get to a worse position, you can always feel you can get back out of it. So I think it's boringly being really, really close to the numbers and the targets, and being clear when things aren't going well, that you're upset and you're disappointed I think more than upset, and that you're really, really excited and pleased when it does go well. And it's walking around seeing the sales figures every single day, you know, and making sure people make them available. They're either through emails that come through every day, or they're on a board, and when you go past the board you go, that wasn't very good, or you go, fantastic, how the hell did that happen, and you share the experiences with people. I think that's being connected.
Okay.
And I think, you know, the walking around, you know, the idea of being around the office and being seen to be where the energy is happening, and trying to be part of it is quite important. Yeah, there's one real fundamental piece that probably is critical and lacking in most situations, is someone has to be incredibly brave or stick their neck out appallingly and be prepared to take all the flack if it goes wrong. And how you get yourself into a position so you're prepared to do that is it's not actually as difficult as it sounds. But people have to be prepared to say, okay, fine, if it goes wrong, I'll say I made a mistake. And so that people go, oh wow, gosh, you know, that person, that group of people are prepared to stick their necks out. And, you know, ultimately, if the Evening Standard hadn't worked going free, clearly I wouldn't have a job again. If the eye hadn't worked and it failed, clearly I wouldn't have a job. Winning the TV bid, well, that's not really down to me. If the TV doesn't work, I suppose I won't have a job again, you know, ultimately like that. And you've got to be prepared to say, you know, I'm prepared to risk failure to achieve success. And you have to make people realise that it's a risk worth taking. Because the alternative, which is just doing the same thing and never really progressing or never trying, is not worth being in that position. You know, the rewards for success and winning are so great that you should try it, and you should be prepared to risk it all to do it.
I think you've given me the real great soundbite there. You have to be prepared to fail to achieve success.
Yeah.
I think that's really important. One last thing to say, Andy. In 5 years' time, what do you want people to say about the Evening Standard TV?
I think we have to be a station that people watch and enjoy. So we want people to say, gosh, isn't London Live fantastic? It's part of their natural viewing situation. Let's say 1.5 million, 2.5 million Londoners see it and watch it regularly. You'd want that. And then you want them to feel, God, how the hell was it ever the case that we didn't have it?